Hey everybody, Captain Nathaniel Lemmon here, FloridaSightFishing.com, and I'm here to bring you my May fishing report, talk to you a little bit about what's happening here on Florida Space Coast and what we've been doing over the last month, and show you some pictures from some of my clients and what they've been catching, and hopefully you find this enjoyable, and if you do, maybe you find you want to get out here and spend a day fishing with me. So a little bit about this time of the year. We're now into May, which is we are around in our busy season now, so this is a tough time of the year to get a short notice charter. So if you are looking for something, you definitely want to get with me as far in advance as you can, because May, June, July, August are our 4 busiest months of the year. While it might be hot here in Florida, it's also some great fishing and it's full of summer vacationers, so there's a lot of people traveling to this area. So if you do want to spend a day with me, definitely get out with me at least 4, 6+ weeks out in advance, to definitely try and make sure you are able to get on my calendar. But let's kind of jump right into it and talk to you about what we've been catching and what's been hot and what's been cooling down a little bit. But I think for the last 2 months, snook fishing has been the best thing going on here in this area. We've had a really good redfish bite, we've had a good trout bite, but snook fishing the last couple months has been really good. So I'm going to throw in some pictures here for you to show you some of the snook that we've been catching. There'll be more in my next report too. But here is a picture of one of my clients, and this was probably, now this husband and wife fished with me a long time ago, and the day we fished this year was absolutely terrible weather. I mean, it must have been blowing 30 miles an hour, but we had probably the best snook bite of the year. They caught over 40 snook. We had probably a solid 12 of them that were this size or bigger. So a really good day for them. Here's another one of my clients from up in Connecticut. His son wasn't able to make this trip with us. Usually fishes with his son every year. His son wasn't here for this trip. But we had a good snook bite on this trip too. So here's a picture of him with one of the snook. This is another one of my regular clients. He comes out with usually one of his boys or his sons every so often. They actually got a short notice trip where I had a cancellation, was able to fit them out, and they caught a pile of snook that day, and here's a double that they had. So that snook bite has kind of tapered off over the last, probably month, which is typical. I mean, it was really good in March, slowed down a little bit in April. It's slowed down a lot in May, but we're still getting some. In fact, I just did a charter today where snook was the best bite that we had, so I'll throw this one in here from the charter today of some snook that we caught on fly and spin rod. But that bite's going to continue to taper off. We're beyond the catching numbers of stage of snook fishing for the year. March and April, we're catching 30, 40 a day. Now we're into 5, 10 a day, but more sizes versus more numbers. I guess that would be the best way to explain it. There is some really good snook fishing going on at night, closer to Ponce Inlet and up around the bridges. There's still a lot of big ones piled up there, so that's a different type of fishery that's pretty much fishing through the middle of the night, or specifically fishing in the dark to target the big 35 to 40 inch snook that are still living in this area. But as we move forward, we're now getting into the time of year where we start catching a lot of trout, and for the past week to 10 days, trout fishing has probably been the most steady, consistent bite we've had, catching 10, 15, 20 trout every day on a variety of either lures or shrimp or some other live bait, and that's going to continue now through the rest of the summer. Trout will be one of our consistent things that we do all summer long. Not a whole lot of size to the trout that we're catching right now. A majority of them are in the 10 to 20 inch range, with a couple bigger ones here and there. Throw this one in here. This is a client from Minnesota that fished with me. This would have been back in early April. This is a 29 inch trout that they caught. That's a trophy gator trout. Majority of the trout, as we get into this time of the year, are going to be in that 15 to 20 inch range, with some bigger ones mixed in the 20 to 25 inch range, with some every now and then you get one that 25 to 30 inch range. That'd be our trophy, our 25 to 30 plus inch range. That's our trophy size trout. But it's a great time of the year to go out and target trout. It's good. We have a lot of people, you know, they provide a lot of action this time of year. You know, we can pretty much find some trout just about anywhere, but they are definitely going to be the one thing that gives us the most action per day. That covers a little bit of a snook, covers a little bit of the trout, and as back to the trout real quick, that'll be something we'll pretty much fish trout really hard the rest of May, all of June, July, and then once we get to August, we pretty much kind of back off on any more trout fishing the rest of, or I shouldn't say no more trout fishing the rest of the year. It just won't be something we get many numbers of, and we'll pick up some big ones here and there, but it's not something we tend to spend a lot of time focusing on that time of the year. Redfish would be the next option, and that's, again, redfish are always around, so it's not like we can't ever target redfish, but this is the time of year we start to get into catching some really big redfish, where you can find those 40-inch redfish from time to time. We've been catching several, so let me throw in a picture of a client that this was actually a birthday trip for him. He sight casted this one. This is actually his biggest redfish on the flats, which was right about 40 inches, and we got him out of a school of about 100 of them that were up roaming in some shallow water. Here's another couple clients. They also from up north. They come down and fish with me every spring. Same actually area and school of fish. We were actually drifting across the flat, and they came right to us, and he pitched out a shrimp out in front of them and caught this one that was about 38, 39 inches. Some other clients that she actually lives local, but her family was in town visiting from Rhode Island, so she sent her or them out with me for a day, and this is how it was. Kind of a nasty weather day. We caught a lot of black drum, and then at the end of the day we finished up with this redfish of 35-inch redfish double. Here's another client, actually a new client, a couple new clients right here. Both of them, one was a father and or a family trip, and they just hit it perfect too. The redfish were schooled up and tailing for them, and we caught several of them like this one. This was another client that fished with me back in early spring too, and here's a great redfish that he sight casted out of a school. There's actually a big school of black drum that had some big mid 30-inch redfish mixed in with them, so he yanked this one out of there. Here's another longtime client of mine from New York area, and he's been fishing, brings his grandson out with me for several years now, and I've been fishing with them since he was a small little kid, and now he's obviously grown, but this was a great trip that we had where we got into a big school of redfish tailing, and we pulled out several of them like this. New client came down and wanted to sight cast. Man, they had a great day. We actually started with some other fish, and then I took them out to the flats when they started tailing, and then the rest of the day we were able to target tailing redfish like this one he caught. Here's another set of new clients. Same type of deal. You know, a common theme this time of the year is you better be flexible on what you're going to target, because one day redfish might be biting, the next day they might not, but it'll be a really good trout bite, and the trout might be a little bit slower the next day, and then snook will be biting. But we actually had planned to do one thing, couldn't really get them. I was like, let's just change plans and go to the flats and see what they're doing there. Pulled up, I said, well, if the redfish are tailing, they're probably gonna be biting. Well, sure enough, all these tails started popping up, and they caught several of them like this. Here's a great double that they had. Here's another one of my clients from Michigan area. He comes down early in the year, and this was a really cold day that we had. They didn't even know if we really should fish, but I was like, nah, they'll be schooled up, we'll have a good time. So here's a double that they pulled out of a big school of redfish that we sight casted all day. Trying to think of who else I didn't cover here. You can see, you know, there's a lot of redfish, and really the rest of the summer is going to be a variety of either we're going to be targeting schools up in the shallow water, or the big fish out in the deeper water up on some deeper flats, but they'll be around. You know, that's what we do all summer long, is target redfish. So it's a great time of the year to come out. This is the time of the year, if you want to catch a 40-inch redfish, this is the time of the year to do it. You want to be here May, June, July, August, September. That's definitely the time to get on those big redfish and catch these trophy size redfish over 40 inches. That covers about it for this time of the year. We were doing a little bit of black drum fishing last month. That has kind of tapered off, not even really hardly seeing any black drum lately. This is more of a winter type thing we do, but did have this trip I did with a father and son, new clients local to the area. We started off sight casting redfish. They caught a few of those, and then we finished up catching 10 to 15 black drum. So here's a double that him and his son had. But like I said, that's really won't be targeting a lot of black drum from now till next winter time. So redfish for the summer, for what's upcoming, redfish will be them pretty much every day. Trout will be every day, and we'll throw in some snook and tarpon as we can find them or come across them for the next few months. Hopefully you like this report. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I try and do these reports once a month for you to talk to you a little bit about what we've been doing, show you pictures of what we've been catching, and so you can get an idea of what it's like for a day out here with me. If you do want to get in touch with me, here's all my contact info. I'll throw out my business card here too. My website is floridasightfishing.com. You're welcome to check on there. It's got all kinds of links to my Facebook, to my Instagram, to my X account, my YouTube account. There's plenty of links on there that will get you there. But again, floridasightfishing.com. If you want to send me an email, it's captain@floridasightfishing.com. You're also willing to give me a phone call, 386-212-4931. Again, this is our busiest time of the year. I try not to pick up my phone while I'm out on people's charters. So if you do call and leave me a voicemail, or you're welcome to send me a text message, and I can respond to those as quick as I can on the boat. All right, so hopefully you like this report. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, come out and spend a day with me out here in the Mosquito Lagoon, Ponce Inlet, New Smyrna Beach area. That's pretty much going to be the flow for the next few months. That's anywhere between Ponce Inlet and Titusville is where I do my charter. So come out and spend a day with me out here and catch some of these fish that everybody else is enjoying. All right, until next time, tight lines. Bye-bye.